Okay, YouTube, April 26th. We're about 3:18 in the afternoon. It's a Sunday, and yeah, I'm wearing the graphite. We're still planting. We'll just say we had a few days from. I really can't say what I want to say because that will, like me and Owen talked to, would get me blacklisted. But let's just back up here. We finished corn Wednesday. I think I might have said that. I went PTO ditching. Our old full-time guy, he come around the bean planter for me, so I could go ditch to a farm near Marshall and a farm out west. And I said, hey, just let you plant that. You've been wanting to help anyway. You just come plant that, and I can go do something else. Get this done and out of the way. So he did that. And when I got to the farmer Marshall, I said, hey, I'll check my phone, make sure nothing's wrong. He called me and said, hey, the planter just shut down. And I'm like, I was doing that last year. First time we've had it back on this tractor, my owned tractor this year. And I'm like, yep, it was doing it last year. Never got no results of trying to get it fixed. It died there. He said, okay. I'm like, well, I thought, I'm like, hey, another guy I'll call him. And I said, hey, I'm not the planner, so I don't want to go back and forth. Here's what's going on. I gave him your number. If he has any issues, he is going to call you. Just give him a hand. I'm not near it. I'm making ditches about 6 miles away right now, so I can't help him, but give him some ideas if he needs help. He said, okay, hey, no problem. Yep, I'll help him out. If he calls, I'll talk to him. And sorry, I got to change population now. More on that in a minute. He's like, okay. And Andrew had texted me and said, hey, he said, we always run in remote. I was running remote 3 planting beans and leave remote 2 open. Only need 3 remotes planting beans, but 2 would one is the lift and your marker control. 3 would be your planter control with the PTO, and 4 runs our conveyor. So he basically said, "We'll put it on number 2 and see what happens." And Andrew said, he said, "Hey, it did less." Okay, hey, the spool in the tractor is going bad was the thought. And I got kind of done, and later on in the evening, we got done, and like he said, yep, it still did it, but he said nowhere near what it did at all, like drastically. Okay, hey, maybe, we don't know. It didn't do it hardly at all to me on Thursday. No, that was Tuesday. Wednesday, just kind of odd. Don't know. It did it a little bit, and I let him know, like, hey, it's still doing it, but it's in the afternoon. And we wasn't planting hard. I planted a field in the morning, moved somewhere. I can't tell you where. The days all ran together. We wasn't pushing all that hard, but that's like I said, it's odd it don't do it in the morning. It never has. It's always, and Andrew was running late afternoon, evening, and we're like, something's getting hot, but it don't make sense. And he was going to ask some techs and all that what it could be, because like he said, it's got to throw a fault. We're like 1200 showing no fault, which like we said it should be on the Pro. I said it's showing no faults. The PTO was running, but the bulk fan would shut down and both backs just come to a sudden stop. When you could hear it in the cab, everything wind down, but you can watch it on the climate field view shut off before the monitor told you. I mean, if you could hear the vac and all that too, but then you looked up like, yep, okay, go to run 3, yep, it's all shutting down. And he's just flabbergasted like, you can't do it. Yep, it's that. Thank you, but it is. And so anyway, it did a little bit, and fast forward on to Thursday then, I planted pretty hard. Same day. Then that afternoon, long story short, I had to wait on beans, so it never really got cooking, if that makes sense. So messed around there and finally got it going, or got me going hard. Planted 75 acres. It did it once. Then it kind of got dark, moved to the last 52 acres. I told Owen and Phil, I'm going to finish this field tonight, so I'm ready to move in the morning. This is my ride home. I'm getting done when they're another. So I was talking to Dylan, and Uncle and me filled up. It was past dark. I just need enough beans to finish this one and finish the one up the road in the morning. So I need to plant X amount to make sure I get there, and I don't need you guys in the morning until I'm ready to move. So messed around, and it just started after the uncle left and all that. And I'd always portrayed it as it cooled off if we filled up, and it would go longer. So, but yeah, heck, that last, I had like 15 acres left when the uncle left. And then that last 10 acres was holy, it was annoying. Then you got to back up. Now, times it would fire back up and run. Sometimes you had to shut it down, start over. Rhyme or reason? Got me. So they said, well, we'll be out in the morning. He said, the only thing Case is going to say is flash new software. So we'll flash new software. I'm like, I'm going to get an early start, plant this, try and get this one field done before they get there. 28 acres. Well, I got 24 done. I'm like, hey, I got a pass on my ends and I'm done. He said, yep, go ahead and finish it. I'll wait a minute. So they put the software in it. Easy fix gonna be. That's all I planted on Thursday was 24 acres. They flashed software. I'm on 33. They tried to go to 41. It wouldn't go. Something about above my head. Software crap, you're on your own. So they had to go back to 37, what the rate controller would take. And, okay, hey, we got it. So let's go start planting. So I crossed the pond where the next little patch was of 28 acres, or the 28 to make the 28. And, yep, good to go. Fired everything up, ready to roll, make a heck of a dent in the day. It wouldn't plant. It would prime seed, but that's it. When it went to sticking seeds in the ground, she wouldn't stick no seeds in the ground. So he messed around. He called his boss, and he's like, we did this, we put the software in, now he's got nothing. now he's got nothing. It won't plant. And by then it's trying to rain. Which we needed to rain for some beans. I did find out, which thank God we got it. And sitting there, and he's like, this makes no sense. This makes no sense. And he's like, okay. And then he's like, well, let's take it back to the version it planted on. We're going to take you back to 33, and you're going to plant, and we're going to get this thing figured out. You're going to be golden. Cool. That's all I'm ready for. Went back to version 33. Nope, it wouldn't plant. It said, tough, you're not planting. And it meant it. So, we're sitting there, and he's sitting there, and he's like, whatever is going on, we screwed it up. We've got whatever was going on. We've done pissed it off now. It ain't gonna work. I'm like, nope, it ain't gonna work. It done pissed off. It left the chat. He's like, yeah. And he's like, now you're sitting here mad at me. And I'm like, no, I'm not mad. I'm just frustrated. I can be done planting beans by Saturday. I can be done planting beans by Saturday, but I gotta have this and this all go right. Yeah, this not helping. And he's like, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm like, hey, we're following what Case would want us to do, so that's all we can do. And don't ask me why, which I'm running. This is what they call a generic harness. Dealer has one. Somebody was using it. They went and got it. Don't ask me. I think since mine's a Connect tractor, I don't need it because it's supposed to be all ISO. More on that in a minute. And yes, it's rough. We're trying to not make it too loose ahead of a rain. They're calling for rain tomorrow. One point was a ½ inch. Now we're seeing places of 2 inches. So we are planting it rough to better hopes of coming up. As I said, I should have been done by noon today at the latest. But anyway, we could have been done Saturday if I had 2 very hard days. But anyway, back on this. He's like, let's go grab that and make it plant. Well, we never fully tried it. We monkeyed around and still couldn't get it to work. Then the main, this was like 4 o'clock. He got there at 8:30 or 3 o'clock. He had to go somewhere, and the main service guy come out and he's like, I'm gonna get you going tonight. And he starts messing around and he's like, okay. And we got corrosion on one connector. Before I send somebody 2 hours away for a rate controller, I'm going to clean it all up just to dot my I's and T's. Well, that didn't make a plan. Then the other mechanic, had the harness. I had it in the cab, and I said, it's in the cab. And he said, and I was just sitting there watching this. I mean, it's wet. It had rained like a tenth and a half, but no, it was drying off kind of. And he's like, they're sitting there in the cab. They backed up about 20 feet. They're sitting in the cab. They're talking a little bit, and I'm like, well, they're not anything. So okay. And next thing I know, he gets out of the cab. He said it's planting, but he said we can't run it through the ISO. We got to plant with this. But you have no GPS in your monitor, which my field view don't work. I'm not recording it on field view. Not happy, but I can plant. And then he's like, your section control will not work because it don't have GPS in the monitor. But I can physically turn them off like I'm doing now. Ideal? Nope. Do I want to? Nope. But I can plant. So I'm like, but I can plant. And he said, yes, you can plant beans tonight, tomorrow, to your heart desires. Now, we could come back tomorrow. We could come back tomorrow and put a makeshift, a GPS receiver. Somehow, we'd have to figure it out tonight or in the morning and make it to where we could put GPS into that because it's robbing from the ISO from what the 1200's getting. I said, but I can plant without it. He said, yeah, you also lose your VRT maps. Well, I can still control them with my finger. Ideal? Nope, it's not ideal. Not what I want to do, but I can plant. I won't be down another 2 hours tomorrow or an hour, whatever it may be, and another trip out here for them to come back out here tomorrow is in my head trying to, they've been here, he left at 8:30 that night. So they've been here all dang day. And so I'm like, I think I can plant. Somebody else somewhere is not planting corn or beans. You're helping me. I'd assume you go help somebody else. I can plant. No, it's not ideal. And then he said, well, you plant this way. If it don't screw up, the problem's in your tractor. We know that. We can tell Case the problem is in your tractor. Now they're going to say yada, 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 your software's not up to date. Yep, we're going to have to cross all them stupid bridges that we got to update all your software. We went to the other 310, it's running the exact same software. He's like, but you run this generic harness. He's, I think we're going to have a shot to say, hey, generic harness at plants with the ISO plug not there, it's working. He said, so this will help us, and I'm like, I can help you both and me both. I'm able to plant. Let's just do it that way. He's like, I want you happy. I said, I'm planting, I'm happy. I said, I can keep planting. I said, it is what it is. No, it's not ideal, but we'll make it work. So I planted that 4-acre patch that night and planted around. Wife went and got supper when he left in town. I planted about 2 runs another farm, and I said, next morning, I'm putting her in road gear, and we're moving this thing forward hard. So I got to the planter at 5:30, started planting, and they moved west to start working there. I got them all, the 18 acres I had left, and I got 30 acres planted, changed varieties. They had to work out there twice. I planted, well, the rest of the 18, the 38, a 25, and a 35, and about 34, 36, give or take, of a 48. And everything went south. And I mean everything went south. At one point there, we had not one single rig moving. Planter tractor, the Lease 310, the 450, they was all down. Back up anyway, was planting earlier on back 25, already did 35, and I got a speed warning. My PTO shut off, transmission fault, PTO over speed something, I can't tell you exactly. Called the guy and I'm like, hey, I got this now. I don't have that, and your sensor's going out. Shut the tractor off, let it cool off, fire it back up, you might be able to go for a bit. But you gotta have that sensor probably pretty quick. Yep, we ain't got it. You can go over by St. Louis to get it, or by Princeton, or down to Princeton, Indiana. Which, if anybody watches Ivers, is where they go to, H&R Equipment. I'm like, well, I guess the wife or somebody is going to Princeton. Yeah, because it is going to go out. When eventually it will not plant, and you will be done. Great. But you could flop your 310 to your cultivator, and I'm like, well, if my uncle's ever running, I don't want my CVT transmission burn up when he tries to cultivate in road gear. And for those of you that know me, my hired help that watch, he would do that because he does it in the grain cart. He tries to run 25 miles an hour, catching him when I'm running 5. Nope, bad things will happen. But don't want to try it. So, which, and like we said, we want to see if this problem comes back. So we all really don't want to change. And then he's like, well, hey, just go grab the sensor off that 310. He said, after I thought about it, just go grab it. So I told the wife, hold still, don't go. Well, the other part-time guy that was there, he said, yep, that sensor's different. And I called the guy back, and I'm like, I got the 2-speed PTO shaft. Ah, crap. Yep. I guess your wife's going to Princeton. I'm like, yep, I guess my wife's going to Princeton. So I called her back and said, hey, you're going to Princeton instead. What we thought would be simple is not simple, so you need to go to Princeton now. So she made her way to Princeton, and I kept going. They're still working ground. I get, there's a little bit of shorter rows on this part where the rows get actually longer. So I got to it and started I'm VRT seating myself and watching my maps. The lady printed off for me when we got them. So VRT with my fingers. Trying to help save some seat like we're going to. So anyway, she basically gets down there and is basically heading home. And I'm pointing next to this fence row. And I looked back and everything shut down and I am blowing oil everywhere. I'm like, well, here we go. I blew a hose and I blew an O-ring. And I had another hose that was ready to grenade. I sent the guy from the dealer a text. I'm like, here's what I got now. That I'm done planting. I'll get a guy packaged up on his way with some hoses. I told him what size I had because they got a splicer. Well, then in the meantime, I'm like, well, I'll just go ditch all these fields. Or Philip had ditched the other part. I'll just go ditch these two. It's done. I'll let this planter cool off where I can actually touch the solenoid where the O-rings are at and where the hoses are at. They're so darn hot. I'll let it cool off. I'll go ditch this. I'll help the guy out, make it go a lot quicker because he's coming from Pearcoat. Yep, hey, I can do that. Perfect. I get done ditching. No one texts me. How's Philip got a hold of you? And I looked at my phone. I'm like, well, he's tried to call. So I call him back, and he's back where I'm at, way back in them trees. Way back in them trees in the back corner. And Owen said he got lost last night. And so if you're listening to this, Owen, sorry. And that is a place you would get lost at. I will give him credit. When you're back there at night picking corn, the field view is nice because you know where you're at. But yes, that is at night it gets very hairy. And Bigfoot, if there's one back there, there's one back there. Now I've not seen one, not going down that road. But yeah, so got a hold of Philip. The tractor just went to half idle. It just basically stopped moving. Well, what code you got? Well, it ain't showing no code. I'm running through my head. I'm like, okay. Somehow did he put it back in neutral part? I don't know. I'm done ditching. I'll head your way. Get back there. It was shut off. Or no, it was running. I seen the code. Yep. 1400 RPM was it. That was all she do. And I'm like, okay. It's like injection pump too high a pressure or something or other. I'm like, this is not good. So, like anything, turn the key off, let it reset itself. Fire back up. I made like a round or so with them. Yep, then it just instantly, well, crap. Called the same guy. It's like, hey, sent the pictures when I finally got out to the clearing. And he's, what's that on? I said, that's on my release 310. It'll only go this, but you shut it off, you can go for a little bit. He'll look at that when he gets on the planter. I'm like, yep, I'm just letting you know it's dead in order too. Owen had called, and we broke a basket on the unearthed crumbler. And we broke one before, and Uncle and me forgot about it. So Owen remind me to call Casey and order three of them frame things, and we'll replace that one when we got it for a spare, and we'll put just two new ones on, and we'll have a spare and a new one. Maybe we'll never use them, but we're going to have a spare just in case. But anyway, sorry, back to my story. So yeah, anyway, so I called a guy to come weld it. He got it welded. He went back running. Got the O-rings in the planter. Got the one hose made. We fired it up. The wife and them come back with a part. He put that in. Good to go. I fired her up and we blew one hose to pieces. The same hose we fixed. We blew the end out. Well, crap. So we went back to fixing it, got it all good to go, and get pay a help. Perfect. We ended up putting a new hose on because it was a junk hose. My bad. Got her going. He went to go come up here to the 310 where I'm at now, where it was parked last night. And he come up here, and I texted the wife. I basically went back and fired her up again, and got everything ready to run, and I'm like, why did I lose vacuum? And I just happened to look back, and there is oil going everywhere. Go back there, the other coupler blew out to pieces. Well, crap. I'm done, because he had no more ends. That was his last end he had. I'm done. Okay. I come back here. Owen's still working fine. It's welding up good. Good welder. Got a good guy that knows what he's doing. The same piece broke before. I'm not going to go in there, but leave it to what you want. He come back and he said, well, I need somebody to run it and make it screw up. I'm like, yep, I'll run it. Philip went home. Owen's still working. I'll go help Owen out. We'll stay here close to the tractor. He rode with his laptop for like 30 minutes. He's seen all the codes. Wouldn't do it. I mean, I'm pulling it hard trying to make it, which, like I said, well, it got good and heated. So, yeah, you're building 100, 210 degrees, though. We ought to be there. Yep, we ought to be there. Well, it's like 9 o'clock. I'm going, yep. I said, you're wasting your time here. I said, no event. It's under warranty, but you're wasting your time here. It's not gonna do it because you're sitting here. But you leave, it's gonna do it. He said, oh, exactly. It did it. About 2 minutes later, he got to Casey's to go get a drink, he said. And he's like, yep. I sent him a text like, here you go, just did it again. Of course. Well, I'll be out to fix your tractor in the morning, your planter in the morning. I'm going to come fix that, get my stock of supplies. We're going to bring these tools out here to hook up to this tractor and try and run it and make it screw up. See you in the morning. Thank you. We called it a night. Enough shit was tore up. We're done. So anyway, got the planter fixed this morning. I'm good to go. He called me and he's like, well, I got here. He said, you had all, or not you had, he said, it had thrown all sorts of codes. He said, yeah. He said, it wasn't just the injection pump. And I'm like, well, I see is that, what's like, he said, yeah. All the monitor shows is the fuel injection deal, too high pressure, something or other, yada yada, something. I'm like, okay, and which like he said, oh no, there is a boatload more. He said, so what we're going to do, we're going to wipe all of the stuff off of the monitor and reflash software. Something might have got corrupted, don't know, but we're going to give it a try. Yep, hey, perfect, I agree, yep. Did all that. Time I got back here, Uncle helped load me up. And the guy was running it when we got here. He was like, well, I'll stay here I was told to stay here for a while and make sure it didn't screw up. I think he was here for 45 minutes to an hour, didn't screw up, and Uncle's still running it now. Zero issues. Don't know what, but software, who knows? They're going to let probably Case know what was going on. But it's working. I'm still working. I probably should have shut up. I've not heard from Owen. I think he's still working. I've not checked the app to see if the Uncle is still working, but he's laying down the Milo stalks that are going to corn. Just getting them broke open because they're going to have to be worked twice anyway. And Owen is directly that way is south. Owen's directly south of me about 3 miles. The crow flies, give or take, which is where I'm going next when I get this. Well, 48 minus 23, so that's how many acres I got left to plant here, and I'm heading down to join them. And that is our last beans. But like I said, I'm not gonna be able to finish because it's gonna be 5:30 or 6 by the time I get there. Now maybe not, because I'm doing well. I think I got enough beans to finish the field. I'm gonna be so darn close. But then anything I'll have to bring that down. We'll get the truck in there or truck down there, and I'll unload what beans I got and go from there. That's been our day. But Owen, we're working that down there one time. It's really white, chalky, white timber soil. So do not definitely, I mean, we are just working it one time. That's 165. So we're just working it one time. We worked that back there just one time. Now this here where we're at, we're twice. It's just different ground. Is it ideal? No, it's not. Not what I want to do, but we just don't want it really fine and powder. If it does, I mean, if it rains a half inch, it ain't gonna hurt, and they're calling for more rain coming as well anyway. But I cranked it out. We cranked it out a full round before I started. I dug and looked. It's okay. If it wasn't gonna rain, I would have left it in. I'd have took it out a half and called it out west. We couldn't. We wanted to raise it, but out west we couldn't. The black muck, just there was no way to raise it and be comfortable. Our thought was they'd all be swelled last night and be good. Nope, they didn't. But if it don't rain till tomorrow afternoon, they should be fine. And even these here should be fine. We'll know more in a week from now. I'll say that. But got insurance. I'm not going to quit planting it down there. I'll probably pick it up down there shallower, because when that rains down there, it turns to concrete. Don't matter what it rains. But yeah. Tomorrow, Uncle or me will have to go get beans in town of some sort. Don't know what. They got a mini bulk or bags. I'll know more. I'll know more when I get done. I can look at my VRT map. So I can still play with it with my hand and finger and get pretty close. I'll know a lot more down there. Now I think I'm planning more than my VRT map says I am, but I can edit that. But where the last field's all deer infested as well, so err on caution. But yeah, I think a full mini bulk will get me extra down there, but I don't know what I got. Until I get it in the planter and plan it out, I'll know what I got, and I'll look at my VRT maps and kind of compare apples to apples what I need. I might take the wagon in town tonight. They're not talking to rain down here, but I might take it in town tonight. So hey, when you get there, I need a mini bulk, fill it up full, and tell my uncle, hey, go get the mini bulk. Go get it. Or hey, can somebody bring it out here in the morning and I can get planting first thing? But anyway, if it's not going to rain, they're talking if it rains north, we'll be okay. Now they are saying it could get very wicked and very nasty. Now, they're starting to say now if it does rain up Champaign area, that will take a lot of the intensity away from us. So sorry if you live north, I want to rain up that way in the morning to kind of lessen this, because I mean, I think somewhere, and yeah, you're seeing it all, they're all showing a 7 out of 10 tornado, yada yada yada. But I don't want that. No, we don't want that. No, we don't want it. We don't need it. Nobody needs that crap. But yeah, so we'll see. That's my update. Long update. But I'll know a lot more by 7 o'clock tonight. Probably won't be 7 o'clock tonight. I'll know a lot more 7 o'clock tonight. How many acres I got left to do in the morning. Well, like I said, the corn we're not going to plant until after all this crap blows through. And I may not plant it for a while because it's supposed to cool off. Don't know. I don't know what my mood is, but it would be nice to get it planted, get the planter switched over. But we'll see. I don't know yet. A lot of questions I don't know yet. The unknown. So we'll see, but I can at least get the bean planter off of here, unless Bane's going to come out and do some service stuff on, or not service stuff, or software. But we're thinking now it's the ISO harness to run. Yes, and I will blame Case. Since our planter is a 1200 or 1240, the 1200 cannot run our planter. So you got to have the Pro 700 in here to run that planter. Why on earth, Case, Deere, AGCO, I don't care who you are, Kubota, any of them, you make a monitor that it can't run any equipment. Yep, I know it's a 2009 model planter. There's a lot of these planters still being pulled and tugged and planting acres in the whole US of A. And you got to run a Pro 700 to run this planter. That is the dumbest thing you can do. Engineers, I don't get it. Why you want to make things harder, and then you won't stand by the crap of that harness causing issues and won't plant. That is my frustration, and I don't care it's case, deer, whatever. That is my main frustration is, oh, well, hey, yeah, since you run this planter, now you gotta buy this, I think it was $1,200 harness. You gotta buy the $1,200 harness because you bought a newer tractor, but that monitor in your tractor will not run that planter, but we'll sell you this harness to make it work, and you're good to go. And oh yeah, the harness is junk. And when it goes bad, you got to replace it or fix it at your own cost. And what the other dealer was saying as well now too is they're here, as the other guy above he talked to said, in places now running the same setup as I got, the liquid control on their corn planter is not working with the ISO. I would be very, very pissed. Very, very, very pissed. And I'm still very pissed because the amount of time we spent, hours and dollars I'm going to spend on a repair bill, on them being here trying to diagnose and get it working, and then it be a stupid ISO plug that basically is buried back in here and goes down and out the back. And to me, it's going bad, what we're all thinking, and you got to replace it again. So it's just going to be, and it's up there in the roof. That's the ISO plug where it plugs in. So this is going to be a common thing. It goes bad in 2 or 3 years. I'm not going to be very happy. I don't get it. Yeah, upgrade planters. Well, that's not in the budget. It's not in anybody's budget right now, and definitely not in mine. Yeah, I know the repair bill sucks, but going to trade this off with the unknown fact above my head is I could lose 310 acres here after 28, or after then for the 28 crop year. I could lose 310 acres starting the 28 crop year. So you go buy anything, knowing that, I may get downsized, and you may not have no more ground to farm to help pay for that planter you bought, or tractor you bought, or anything you bought. You need that stuff to help pay. You need the acres to help stuff pay. But if you lose the acres, you got the tool, or the planter, the tillage tool, whatever you bought, but you got no more acres. You're down acres, so then it really don't work, and you're in trouble. Yeah, the tandem I bought knowing that, but one grain truck to the uncle's he got rid of because it was his. I wasn't interested, so I bought that. And I bought that. Yeah, I could have bought a semi, but not everybody can drive a semi. I knew the uncle would drive a nice tandem. I mean, I like it. Everybody else likes it. We got bins that don't work with a semi, so that tandem is nice. It'll haul a lot. Yeah, that's not going to hurt me because you need help in the harvest. We lost the truck, so yeah, and that fit well. But as far as a big output or expense, it's just kind of gun shy. I know the guy was saying we need to put a bunch of hoses on this. Yep, we do. I don't want to, but it's cheaper than a $150,000 planter. And I want to run liquid on the bean planter because I firmly believe in ProLine. Now, we had no test this year, but we've got very, very good ROI on it last several years. But that's a pretty cheap deal. You make the liquid tanks and you get the aftermarket controller. Yeah, $4,000 or $5,000. I can dig with that, but the newer 1240, a newer 2140, 50, 40 would make work. But it's all for a cost. So that's my long-winded update. Do another one tomorrow. Enjoy the day. I wish I was drinking beer and we was done and no one was home with his future wife. Sorry, Kennedy. As I told Owen, he'll figure out quickly. That's how things go here. The plan gets blown apart. And yeah, it is what it is. But cross my finger, the last weekend we should be working until side dress time. I will say that, but that should be hopefully fairly quickly going through. But yeah, no wheat to cut this year, so it'll be kind of it won't be slow, but yeah, so no big hindrance or nothing like that. But yeah, so we shall see. Yeah. I mean, other than that, we're gonna have Milo to plant, but Milo, you need 65 degrees soil temp and warming before you plant that. And I am not about to plant that stuff ahead of a rain coming, a cool rain, and cooler temps. The ground temp has not been 65 degrees. Now, I heard today a guy was planting it. Good for him. Good luck. Nope. I did it once. I had 2 days before it got cool, and it wasn't going to be that cool. It was only supposed to rain 2 or 3 tenths. They said, planting, you're fine. Well, it rained 6 tenths, and it didn't make it up. But where I changed that 8th step was my own screw up, because it showed to a T what that cooler temp did. But no, so that's all we're going to have left, so we'll go from there. It'll be what it'll be, and who knows? Well, like I said, as of right now, the forecast shows looks like about May 10th before we ever go back and do anything. Time will tell. Waiting on the weather forecast now. Well, y'all have a good day, and I'll talk to you later.